All right, so today we're diving into episode 2 of our Conquer My Clutter series here on YouTube. If you're new here, this is where I ask subscribers, viewers, people who are part of this community to send in photos or videos from their own homes of cluttered rooms or spaces that they need help decluttering, and I will offer helpful guidance, tips, and discussion around successfully conquering that clutter. Now, if you want to submit your space to be a part of this series, you can do so on my website at ronaldlbanks.com/conquermyclutter. I'll also leave that link in the description below as well. And at the end of this episode, I'll leave a link to episode 1 in case you missed it and want to go back and check it out. However, today I'm throwing in an audible, and rather than helping someone new conquer their clutter, I thought it would be a great idea to share a success story from episode 1. And that story comes from Pamela. If you've seen episode 1, then you may already be familiar with Pamela's story and the clutter she needed help conquering. But if not, let's take a look back at her story and the clutter she started with. All right, so first up, we have 2 separate spaces from Pamela, who submitted both her books and her book clutter, as well as the clothes in her closet and her dresser. Now, I do have a couple of photos of each of these spaces, but let's talk about the books first. According to the information you shared with me and the goals you have for this space, which you said your goal is to have 1 bookshelf worth of books, which is a very solid goal, to be honest with you. The other facts that you shared with me is that many of these books are fiction books, and most of them are just waiting to be read. And your question is do I keep them for future reading or do I limit the quantity? The second space that Pamela submitted was her closets and dresser. So let's call this clothing clutter. And just like the books, you have some goals that you shared with me. And one of your goals is to be able to look in your bedroom closet and not see any storage bins or extra clothes or etc. on the floor. But the thing you're struggling most with is removing clothes that are too small and better bedroom closet organization overall. Now, moments after that episode aired, I received an email from Pamela expressing her excitement and happiness that her space was one of few chosen to be featured in the first episode of the Conquer My Clutter series. And to my surprise, in that email, Pamela mentioned that she would be starting on her clutter and implementing the things I suggested that coming weekend. Talk about motivated, right? And motivated she was because Pamela conquered her clutter. Here's her success story and photos of what she's been able to accomplish. In regards to her book clutter, Pamela had roughly 245 books, most of which were fiction books, and many of them were sitting there waiting to be read. So Pamela started by sorting her books into 2 separate piles, as I suggested, books she's read and books she has not read yet. She also began to work through a series of questions I wanted her to ask herself as well, and here are her stats. Of the books she's read, Pamela decided to keep 19 and remove 31. Of the books Pamela has not read yet, she decided to keep 97 and remove 98. She later went through her keep pile a second time and decided to remove an additional 18 books. Let's check out her results. Whew. Okay. You were not playing around, Pamela. You conquered this clutter for sure. Looking at how much progress you've made in such a short period of time, to go from having multiple bookshelves filled with books, multiple shelves filled with books, and storage containers filled with books, many of which you have not read, probably wouldn't have got a chance to read because you had so many, to now only having 3 shelves worth of books is amazing. And you did this quick in a weekend, and I'm so proud of you and so excited. I can't help but smile because you've made so much progress with these books. You also mentioned that you were able to sell the books you no longer wanted at your local half-price bookstore. So that's just an added bonus. You made a little bit of money, so that's cool as well. But you've made so much progress in such a short period of time. Man, to have that many books and then narrow it down to only 3 shelves, that's awesome. That's amazing. Good job, Pamela. Good job. Now, on top of the book clutter, Pamela also conquered her clothing clutter. And here's how that went. Pamela started with a closet that felt unorganized and cluttered because she had so many extra clothes laying around in storage baskets and all over the floor. She also had clothing items that were too small that she wanted to get rid of, and quite a few items that were brand new, unworn, with tags still on them. And after another motivated weekend of decluttering, Pamela was able to remove the items that were unworn, not needed. And like I said, many of them still had the packaging and tags still on them, which we can see in this photo here, sitting on top of her chest. You can see all of these clothing items here that she is getting rid of that are brand new. We have socks, we have pantyhose, we have slippers. This is amazing. We also have some scarves and some other clothing items here that she is getting rid of that she is no longer wearing. And then we can also see that she has some more clothes here laying on top of her bed, some t-shirts and some other items that she is getting rid of that she doesn't need, that she's not wearing. And I am so, so excited for her. Now, Pamela also started implementing a wardrobe rotation, which was another suggestion I had for her. And if you're not familiar with what a wardrobe rotation is, this is where you rotate the clothes in your closet and only keep out the items you're currently wearing based on the season and time of year. So in Pamela's case, all of her spring and summer clothes are packed away in her chest. And then all of her fall and winter clothes are the only thing that remain in her closet and dresser. Now, in my opinion, a wardrobe rotation, a closet rotation is a great way to cut down on the visual clutter because you're only keeping out the items you're actively using, the items you need, and the items you have available to wear in that season or that time of year. Now, Pamela is also using matching hangers, which is another suggestion I had for her. I told her that it wasn't mandatory, but if she wanted to spend a little bit of money, she can get some matching hangers, and she did, because this is another easy hack to cut down on the visual clutter by keeping things that are hanging in your closet looking uniform because they match and because they're all hanging on the same hanger. Additionally, Pamela implemented her own version of a decluttering technique that my wife and I use and that I've talked about quite a bit in other conversations. And that technique is called decluttering as you live. What does that mean? Well, it means as you go about your daily routine, your normal habits, as you get dressed every morning and get undressed every night, anytime you come across a piece of clothing item or anything in your home that you either forgot you had, don't need, aren't wearing, don't have any use for, don't find value in, you put that item directly into a donation bag or box. And at the end of the week, it goes off to your local donation center. Now, in Pamela's case, instead of using a bag like my wife and I do, she decided to reuse two wire baskets she already had that were previously used to hold extra clothing items that she no longer needed. And she is now using those baskets to store both her exercise equipment, and then the other basket serves as a catch-all for all of the clothing items that she does not want to keep as she starts to live her life and go through her routines and come across those items. I am so proud of this. I am so I am so happy. Now, all in all, Pamela now only has clothes in her bedroom and not spread across every other room in the house, not all over the floor. All of her clothing items are contained to just her bedroom. This is awesome. I must say, I am both motivated by and grateful I had the opportunity to be a part of the progress you made with both your book clutter and clothing clutter, Pamela. You were motivated to get it done, and that you did. You got it done. Now, some additional details you shared with me are your plans to do a no buy for a while and not purchase any new clothing because you really want to take the time to enjoy everything you own. I support that 100%. You also mentioned that you don't have any clothing for special occasions because every day is special. I love that. And I hope your success story serves as motivation, encouragement, and inspiration for anyone watching who is facing very similar clutter on their journey. And as a reminder, if you want to submit your space and have me help you conquer your clutter, you can do that on my website at ronaldlbanks.com/conquermyclutter. You'll find all the details on how to submit your space there. Let's celebrate Pamela down in the comments. Keep growing, keep learning, always stay true to you. And as a next step, check out other videos in this series by clicking this thumbnail right here. Peace.